Hey folks, this is Vince with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to quickly review Age of Rivals. This is a digital card game that you can find on Steam for about $9, though it is 50% off until July 8th, 2021, as part of the Steam Summer Sale. So what is Age of Rivals? Well, it is a light Civilization-esque kind of game that is part engine builder and part drafting. And I really wish this had a tabletop companion, as in a lot of the digital board games I play typically have a counterpart on the actual physical world, but this one doesn't, and I wish it did because it's quite good. So, what do you do in Age of Rivals? Well, it is a 1v1, so two players maximum. You can play against the AI. And there is a bit of a learning curve, I will say that. The game is played over a total of 4 rounds, and typically there are 5 phases in each round. There's the build phase, where you actually buy new cards with what money you have. Then there's the second phase, which is conquest. The cards that you put down may have an attack strength on them, and those numbers will be pulled based on what you've drafted, and will be attacking these sort of neutral cities. And whoever has more or higher values, I don't want to get into too specific details here, but essentially whoever has the better military will typically gain a lot of victory points for having attacked these cities and dominated them. So, military is important in this game. And then there's the third phase, which is war. That's where you actually attack your opponent's cards directly, the ones that they've drafted. Your opponent will get to choose, however, how to assign damage. So let's say that you've got a military unit that does 5 damage and another military unit does 3 damage. They're going to go ahead and take those numbers and assign them to whatever cards they want in their tableau. And their ultimate goal is to keep their cards alive if they can. If they happen to get destroyed, they're useless and don't score them any points. It is possible for these cards to show up again in the future too. Fourth phase is the score points for culture phase, where rather than looking at the military side of things, now we're looking at the culture side of these cards. Some cards are strictly culture and will just score you victory points based off of certain things. So you'll score points, based on that. And then there's an end phase where you'll have to sort of discard cards that have been destroyed. They'll turn into ruin. Some cards will be restored depending on certain circumstances and the like. And then new cards are introduced to the overall deck for the next round. You also get more gold during this phase too, so that you can then purchase more cards for the next round. That, in a nutshell, is the typical gameplay flow for this game. Now, I did skip over a lot of things. These cards have a lot to them. For example, certain cards are only drawn during certain rounds. So, for example, like if you look on the bottom of a card, you'll see little diamonds and stuff. So it'll tell you, okay, this card is only drawn during the first round, or only during the third round, or only during the second round, whatever. Okay, so certain cards are only drawn at certain times. Some haven't. Most of these cards have some kind of armor value, which you assign damage to, again, during the one phase. Some of them have an attack value, a gold cost. Some even have a discount resource. So, for example, kind of like in Seven Wonders, the board game, or the digital app, you can actually draft cards that grant you resources like horses, or wood, or iron. And then whenever you choose cards that have that discount resource and you have it, it'll make acquiring that card cheaper. Again, similar to Seven Wonders. So there's that. You've also got the ability to unlock new cards as you continue playing. Every game that you play with the computer or online, whatever, you earn gold. There's like various achievements, okay? And as you earn these gold, you can spend gold to then unlock new packs, and you'll be unlocking more content for your game. Some cards are like common green or rare red and so on. So there's that. There's, again, a lot more to this game that I haven't gotten to yet. One thing I really like is that each of these cards typically has some way to synergize with other cards. For example, there's a military card that's like, okay, has +2 attack strength if you have two other cards that have sword symbols on them. Or this card might say 4 attack versus any enemy card with a sword on it before the war phase. So it's a way of knocking out cards even before you can actually start assigning damage to each other. You know what I mean? There are defense cards out there that will help defend against very large attacks. Each player chooses a leader at the beginning of the game, and certain leaders have certain guaranteed cards that you can lock in for your playthrough. Your opponent will not have access to these cards during the drafting process, only you will. You don't have to choose them, but only you will have access to them. Again, there's more to the game that I went over here, but in a nutshell, I gotta say, this is a fantastic game that I wish did have a physical counterpart to it. I would gladly pay the 15-20 bucks for a physical copy of this game because it is quite fun. Again, you can play against the AI. There's normal and hard modes. Normal is actually quite decent. You may lose, your first couple of times out due to the learning curve. But there is a tutorial. There's an in-game manual that you can read as well. And the computer does not cheat. It plays within the same realm as you do in terms of the rules. Or you can just play multiplayer if you want to. Now, this is a fairly old game, so I can't imagine there being a lot of players right now. But if you have another player to play with that enjoys card games, I would recommend this. Even just playing against the AI, there's a lot to do here. So yes, absolutely check this out, especially during the Steam Summer Sale, because like I said, it's 50% off right now. If you guys haven't already, subscribed to me on Twitch and YouTube. That way you can stay up to date with any new content I'm going to publish. This is Vince. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys next time.